welcome back. I'm just gonna start reading. Chapter 25. With the street light out, no one could see or what happened into Colmenary's house. There was a feeling of mistaking sound, scuffling of feet, and raised voices. Some kind of something was going on the street. He jumped to his feet. What in the blazes? Logan was bewildered. He and the team been over the plan so many times. No part of it, including running around outside and yelling the plan. He must have jumped off the rails. How? He had to admit, so he was straight-faced. I didn't hear anything, but obviously he didn't sell the line because the old man slapped his fist to his palm. That does it. The neighborhood is going down the drain. It's gotten to the point where a man can't enjoy a few quiet moments. Front porch. I'm calling the police. Whatever is going on. Logan knew that they had to do something wrong. There was a cold ad-lib where an actor broke from the script and followed his gut and knew it was good for the show. It's time for a beauty right now. Logan braced both of his feet flat on the floor on the board and launched himself forward. The rocket swung back and flipped over, tossing him onto the porch in the bay of jumper bushes. Logan, are you okay? The young actor was better than okay, while the old man and Logan many cuts and scratches, calling the police. What a performance! He had just covered the better part of a mile full sprint, but Griffin felt the aching in his legs, the fire in his lungs. He approached home almost stealthily at Swindle's far as Mom and Dad knew Griffin wasn't been a marathon working session on a science fair project. The garage could be opened from the outside by the keypad. The worried wife and door began to roll up, and the light seemed louder than 20 car pileups, but no one came bursting out of the investigation noise. Maybe Mom and Dad were too absorbed in one of their spirited checkbook balancing sessions to notice. He shrugged off the tank and entered the garbage blowtorch kit. Turned only when the light dim glow coming from the street lamp. It was pitch dark. He bumped the edge his father's workbench and could breathe. The tools injured, as well as a few screws and bolts pinched against the cement floor. Griffin felt around in blackness, hand closed on the aluminum pole. It was time to give the smart pick its first true test operation. For speed stealth, he jumped on his bike and device balanced on his lap, pedaling to Swindle's house across in record time, very nearly losing his father's invention as he wheeled Park Avenue extensions. It was hard to see anything in the area of the broken streetlights, including excited voices and unmistakable. He jumped on the bike and ran, since quieting as his eye adjusted to the dark. He thought the spotted Darren halfway in the heavy trunk, but there's no time to figure. It was too small. It was pitch, climbing, grinning, and something in pain with every moment. Her injured ankle. He ran up to Ben, who stood at the other team members, gazing at the big maple. Where's Darren? Ben pointed. Maybe he really is part gorilla. Griffin walked. No wonder he had the spot. Tried Darren, and the big boy, 30 feet up, barely his body length below Babe Ruth. The card clung near the narrow branches as the wind shrieked over or closer to $1 million card. Savannah regarded the smart pick. Obviously, you picked a strange time for a fishing trap. It's my dad's invention. It can get us the card. How do you guys let Pitch go up there, or with her bad leg? Trying to follow the tree and knocked Melissa. Her curtain of hair was permanently parted. Of her wide eyes were the two climbers. I don't think after the card, I think they're trying to rescue Darren. Looks like Darren's just doing fine on his own. Ben observed nervously a few feet, and he's got it. With Darren pulling himself forward, reached the branches and reached for the great bambino. The bambino, his fingers passed just a few inches beneath. Griffin powered on the smart pick and pressed the button with a low whirling aluminum pole telescope outwards, scoring high above into the night. It works, he thought it in amazement. Not that he doubted his father. You could never imagine how impressive the air was filled, blowing leaves, tree rustling weaved with their wind, but the smart pick was never weaved, raising laser straight to the maple branches. What the? Pitch did a double take as the gleaming metal looms had passed her shoulder. Wow. Ben breathed. Ben, your old man is really a genius. Griffin, where was I? Griffin shuffled his feet and tried to aim the fruit-safe claws at the tiny card. Even motion on the ground translated into a major swing at the end of the long pole. The picking machine pitched widely is neared at the top of the tree. Darren shuffled through his little fall on his branch. He extended his arm and felt at the fingertips of brush at the end of the card. This was it. He braced the final stretch and would make him a millionaire. A metal ring rose up right in front of him. The device opened up a rubber-tipped claws that he closed lightly. Dedication. I don't know. On the Babe Ruth card with the twist plucking from the branches, his eyes bulged in dismay. The dump pick. He snatched the Bambino from the pincers, and he already began to react, barely bearing the collectible away. There's a sticky cracking sound. Oh no. Far below, the team watched the tensely impatient prize. It made his destination. Careful, Ben said obnoxiously. Don't rip it. Griffin hung onto the smart pick like a fisherman landing on a shark in the middle of a full something. Don't worry. The painted fruit safe mechanic is guaranteed not to damage the fruit. It's not the fruit, Savannah pointed out. It's that vet school tuition, Melissa. Come on. Logan, acting lessons, pitch, climbing trip, college paid for, new cars when we're old enough. Melissa wore more of a grin, widely, nearly split her face. I can't believe we actually did it. And a voice called above, help. Chapter 26. How much longer? Alright, so we're almost there. Chapter 26. Darren was falling, still clutching the lost limbs torn away from the tree damage, watching helplessly plummeted towards them 10 feet up, was ripping the wood. Suddenly a firm Darren cried out. The branches violently swung direction of the house crash, the bottom slamming into the downstairs window, shattering the glass and tossing the floor like a rag doll. Into Palminary's home, an ear-splitting wail blasted through the neighborhood of Ultratech alarm system. Burst to life, Griffin abandoned the smart pick and joined Ben and Melissa on the mad dash for the house. Pitch dropped from the tree, then limped over to them. Griffin could taste the bitter dread boiling up in his throat. He peered to see Darren sprawling in the wreckage of the window, not moving. Oh my gosh, is he okay? And the big boy rolled over and shook his fist, starting to shout with rage. The rush relief nearly knocked Griffin over. Imagine him being so happy, he yelled at them or something, I don't know. Melissa hauled Darren over still, except the torn clothing and cuts and bruises. They trade unhurt. You okay? Pitch bowled in his ears or something, I don't know. And when Darren nodded sheepishly, she hauled off and punched him in the stomach or something. Logan pounced onto the wall, howling like a madman. This was impossible to hear over the clamor sensors, but his meaning, it's not a mistake. The outdoor chaos wasn't part of the plan. What had gone wrong? Griffin grabbed him by the shoulders. You were supposed to stay with Mr. And you think he'd sit through this kind of noise? The actor shoved back. He went inside to call the cops, so I took off. Did we get the card? The smart pick is lying on the ground somewhere with $1 million payload on it, something. Griffin retraced his steps, desperately scanning the grass. He could see nothing in the darkness. He couldn't believe this was happening. Not when, where, so close. A gentle glint of metal caught his attention. Heart pounding, snatched. Saw his invention. The Bambino was still nestled in the mechanism. The alarms howling died abruptly after such overpowering noise. The sudden silence exposed the boom or something. The unexpected quick revelation. 2 sounds. Police sirens in the distance. Of barking guard dog. No, 2 guard dogs. Code Z. Griffin and bellowed Code Z, and all the plans escape. The moment of operation completed or busted or both, there will remain to get the heck out of there. The team scattered. Hey, Darren, cried Darren, somebody got to help me with my ladder. In your dreams, snorted Pitch, who was limping off at top speed, indicating that her ankle felt a little better. Darren raced on the side of the house and tried to pull the 24-foot length away from the wall. Atop overbounds, he could dive safely. The entire thing fell with a running, clawing on the grass. chest having to begin process of collapsing the 6-foot sections and snapping them into place. The second piece could budge. Finally stomped down. Come on, we gotta split. Second decision ran after the others. Wait up, those 2 dogs found the broken window and didn't like. He chased out, running them with the ladder. His back with the same ladder was going to look pretty suspicious to the cops. With it on their investigate whatever on the rooftop break-in. Nothing was free in this ward. The cost of tonight was 1 ladder. He explained his parents that somehow, even though he had to tell Griffin Bing stole it, Griffin stuffed the card in his pocket and began beeline for the bike. Hold on, this Griffin commanded, handing over the smart pick. And try to stay awake this time. And then they were off, riding double along the Park Avenue extension, swerving on the side of the street to avoid the squad car. Ben was, what if Swindle figures out it was us? The police will search us and find the card. Griffin cruised and stopped beside mailbox. I've got it covered. He reached inside his shirt and proceeded shirt in the envelope, protruded an envelope with an address stamped already on it. Popped the Bambino inside and sealed the flat. Drove a letter to the spot. Ben was bugged. You mailed it to who? It's better for you not to know. They got back to the bike and rode to Ben's house. Ben jumping over his hand, smart pick. Got a lot of respect though. Stole one you. They prying off, pulling what we did tonight. And tonight Griffin told him that's all you need. Just thought successfully the operation, smiling his lips. Paneling 2 of the mouth, self-courage had been hiccups, pitches, injury. Ben catnip was empty, safe. I know the extra dog guy in the door, especially Darren's betrayal, was most improvised steps, overcoming the team part of the plans, and it had been the plan after all, the end of all plans. He rounded the corner of his own block. His heart was nearly jumping out of his rib cage. Dancing colored lights whirled across the bricks from house, flashing ablaze. Chapter 27. He was astounded. How could the cops be here already? The team had gotten away before any officer reached Palmer's home. The investigation warned that Swindle should be at the hockey game. For a moment, Griffin actually thought about turning his bike around and making a break for it. How crazy was that? A fugitive living on the land, I don't know, never to see his family or friends again. No, there was nothing to do but face the music and hope for the best. At least he didn't have the card on him. The police couldn't prove anything with that. Stealing himself, he ditched his gloves and stocking, camped in the bushes, peeling something home. Hey, 2 uniformed officers were running across the lawn. A third figure was right behind them. Dad! Before Griffin could dismount, the large cops grabbed him under his arms and hauled the bike. The man's partner snatched the smart pick and held it up to Mr. Bing. Sir, is this your prototype or stolen from your garage? Stolen. The truth came crashing down on Griffin. It had nothing to do with the robbery. Dad must have had gone to investigate the noises coming from the garage, but he found the bench missing, so he called the cops. Mr. Bing looked shocked and embarrassed. I'm sorry, officers. It seems I've been wasting your time. This is my son. To Griffin, he said, what are you doing with my prototype? Griffin was relieved to see the hook of the baseball card and had a hard time working on his face expression. Ben wanted to show how it works, so they were just picking pine cones out of a tree. The senior officer spoke up. You weren't anywhere near Park X, or you have reports of some vandalism out there. Broken windows, alarm signals. Mr. Bing stepped in. No, his friend's house is nowhere near there, I'm afraid. It's all a mistake. I apologize for dragging you over here, Griffin. Withered under his father's despair, proving the gaze of the officers, get back in their car and drove away. Mr. Bing returned the invention to his place. You nearly gave me a heart attack, he said finally. When I stepped to the garage and the prototype wasn't there, I just about lost it. Griffin studied his sneakers. Sorry, Dad, but I always wanted to say we're going to have more than enough money to develop your invention, and we won't have to sell the house to do it. What were you thinking? If you and Ben wanted to demonstrate, all you had to do was ask. A ghost of a smile trudged to his lips. So how did it go? The prototype performed up to expectations. It was a sequence or something for a movie. His telescoping pull defying gravity to snatch the card away from Darren just in time. "Oh, Dad," said, "in a million years, I never would have believed what a smart pick can do." The text message came from through the hallway. The second period of Rangers Maple Leaf something. Ultra text security alert system. Time of alert 8:47. Attention Pulmonary S. Weldon. An alarm signal has been received from the following address: 531 Park Avenue Extension, Cedarville. Ultratech Central Situation Monitoring has reported the incident to the police. Never before a highway of New York City Honda Element driving such reckless speeds, weaving in and out of traffic. S. Weldon Pulmonary Eastwood towards Cedarville exit. He was still going at least 60 and then screeched at a halt inches from the police cruiser in the driveway. The dealer was already breathing hard as he rushed in front of the steps and fixed the sunny side up eyes on the officer positioned at the door. "You are a homeowner?" she inquired. Pulmonary nodded. He stood there, wheezing, incapable of speech. "There's been a break-in. The office informed me the entry point was from the roof through the bathroom skylight. It looks like thieves got what they were after. Your safe has been burned open, probably by a blowtorch." "Never mind that safe," fantastically. What about my turkey?" "Your turkey?" And the dealer blew her into a ran into the kitchen in a horrifying sight. Him at once a 20-pound turkey who was on now perhaps 3-pound skeleton Luther and the hired German shepherd lay aside. Inside the floor, two stuffed from ice-cold meat. No more than raise their heads and growl. We found one suspect holding roast meat, but he seemed to be unconnected to the crime. His ID says he works at a action something company. We'd think he walked in on the robbery and the dogs chased him there. He's pretty shaken up." "But what about the real thieves?" Pulmonary wailed. "Why didn't the dogs go after them?" "Impossible to tell," the officers replied. "The turkey was probably used as a distraction." Pulmonary knew the truth was much more than that. He could see right through the turkey ribs, and that the chest cavity was empty. Discarded on the counter was a Ziploc bag that had kept the card clean and dry. Inside the frozen bird, the Bambino was gone. Chapter 28, and that's where I'm going to leave off for now.